Well, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Devil's Advocate, Trades Edition. We're on New Year's here. I had to pick a day that I was going to launch these that had just happened to fall on Christmas Day and on New Year's Day. So I am pre-recording this one. This is being pre-recorded on December 29th. Let me tell you why I choose the 29th. 29 is very special to me because I'm born on the 29th day. My daughter is born on the 29th day. And 29, if you're born on the 29th day, if you follow like G33 or whatever, like he'll tell you. So if you add up those numbers for numerology, it makes an 11. 11 are charismatic people. I mean, I wouldn't have said that, but just kidding. But I really like the number 29 there. Also, there's a lot of really special qualities for people who are born on the 29th. Sorry, I got something in my throat. Don't make a joke out of it. So, because they're insurmountable. So here's the thing. On Christmas Day, I went off on my little tangent about religion. And it's an opinion. I have lots of friends that are in that their belief systems do not mirror mine at all. And I love them for who they are. But I'm going to tell you what I love the most. I like the debates that come out of these conversations of religion and spirituality. Because to me, at the end of the day, like when you sit and listen to everybody, there is a basis of where we all kind of enmesh in our belief systems, and that's where I think everybody can just get along on some level. But I mean, for me, I'm very passionate about the fact that I believe that religion is man-made in order to control the masses. Some people would disagree with me. I believe that marriage was a sense of ownership. Much like when you get divorced now, you have to prove that the dog is yours by a receipt. Kind of a similar thing. It sounds horrible. They're like, Lisa, you're referencing women as bitches. And it's like, no, I'm just saying a dog is a living thing. Cats are living things. But if you're in a separation or divorce with somebody and you both really love this animal, you now have to prove ownership of it. And that's kind of what marriage was way back in the day. It was giving women more rights based on the fact that they were married and falling under the representation of their husband, which took away their identity. And I remember when I got married, long time ago, and that was the argument, as my ex was very traditional and he wanted me to take his last name. And I was like, that's not happening. All of the certifications on my wall are my last name, McGrath. That would be rewriting my identity. Now, some women keep their married names in business because that's the name they've used and that's how they identify. Even though they don't have a passion towards the last name is who they are in that world. So a lot of women will also say, I'm not changing the names of my children and I want to share the last name as their children. So loophole, I named my children both names. So they don't belong to my ex-husband. So I got divorced before I had children. And then I met the father of my children. And they carry both names. So I did that on purpose. My mom had all of us carry both names and her name was first. So, and I think it's funny because when you're not married in the hospital, it comes up like McGrath boy, McGrath girl, because mom's not married. So, it falls under mom's name, not dad. So it was funny when, dad went to go try and find the babies and he was saying his last name and they're like, nope, no baby here by that name. And I was like, McGrath, you have to say McGrath. It was like, I know that was probably not the greatest ego boost in the world, that you got to go find your child by saying your significant's last name and not your own, but say Levis. So here's the thing. It's all opinions. Everything is opinions. Yes, I do everything raw because in a world where everybody can have videographers and editing and change things and show you only what they want you to see, I'm tired of only being shown part of the curtain or what's behind it. I'm tired of it. Like, show me both hands. Don't just shake my hand with the right and hide your hand, your left hand behind your back. Like, I'm just so uninterested. There's so much of that in the world that for me, I'm just all about being open and whatnot. But also, as the new episodes are going to air, we're going to start changing a little bit. We're going to pivot. And the reason we're going to pivot is because this is about trades. And I believe that there are a lot of resources out there for people in trades that they just don't know about it. So we're going to bring on some people. We're going to bring on people who are good with trauma, people who are good with mental health, and we're going to bring on people who are good with just healthcare in general and insurances. And the reason we're going to do that is to give you guys some information about where you can go find this or that it even exists. Because it's important, right? Like, it's important for you to secure your family in any way you can, especially if you're dealing with a lot of trauma. I mean, like, most of us have traumas of some sort. I believe that it's just embracing the trauma. When I say that, I mean, it's like, it happened. Don't deny that it happened. If there's one thing I hate identifying myself as a victim. I hate being like, oh yeah, I was totally victimized today. Oh my God, my ex-spouse victimized me. Was I a victim of something? Yes. Do I need to like heighten it? No. I want to be like, you know what? I was victimized here, but what it taught me was this. What I got out of it was this. And is this person a horrible human? No, because they don't really know any better. Because when I talk about that, I talk about like mental abuse or like narcissistic bullshit or like emotional abuse. A lot of times people that do that hate themselves. And I'm not saying, that's a pass for like, that the behavior. I'm just saying forgive them. Why? Because you're forgiving yourself. You're forgiving yourself in letting that person in and be mean to you. What you should be doing is forgiving that person for giving you an opportunity to see what that looks like so that you won't make that same mistake again. That's how I look at it. For those of you that drag it out and make excuses for them and are enabling and codependent, there are people around that will help you get through that. Like these people that drag things out and move at a glacial pace and they're all like, oh no, I hate my life, but I don't, but I hate my life, but I don't. And they want to just talk your ear off on it. And you're like that person that's like, yeah, well, I've given you 10 solutions. I've tried to even help you through it. I've supported you through all of this, but you're still complaining. That's why I'm going to bring on these people so that, you know what? Because friends can be one of two things. We can either be like the worst enablers ever and be like, oh my God, they're so amazing and we love them and it's whatever you want to do. And if you're happy, we just want you to be happy. Meanwhile, deep down inside, we're like, this is a piece of shit. Get rid of this motherfucker, get rid of this bitch and just move on with your life because you are amazing in your own essence. And there's that part of it. And then there's also the part of it where we do say that. And that's really hurtful because if they're not ready for that information, it's gonna escalate in, the ending of the friendship. It's gonna escalate the moment, the mood, how it's happening, and then it's just going to push the inevitable of you not being in their lives anymore because they're not ready for that information. And sometimes I'm okay with where I am in my friendships because I am very blatantly honest. And some people will say, well, there's honesty and then there's just being rude. No. Sometimes honesty is rude. I'm not saying walk up and be like, yeah, you're a fucking moron. I mean, sometimes that's called for, but I'm not saying that. I'm saying you could say, you know what? You've really made some poor choices and it's unfortunate. And I've watched you go through it and I've watched you stand here and deal with this. And I love you. And I want you to know that you're better than this. And I'm tired of watching you make these mistakes because it's hurting you, which is hurting me because I see the potential you have as a person. People be like, oh, that's rude. And I'll be like, nah, it's honest. You don't like it? It's like, it's like, do my jeans make me look fat? No, your fat ass makes you look fat. Like, what do you want me to say to you? Like, if you're asking me the question, you know the answer. It's kind of how that goes, right? But I've heard that from some of my friends when I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what to do about this. And they're like, if you're asking me, you know the answer. And I'm like, I know, but I just want to hear you say it. I just want to hear you say it. just, I'm a turkey. Like, baste me. Let's go. Tell me everything. But that's just how it goes. So for me, I want to be able to create this platform where there's also aspects of different types of people that understand and can help you get to the finish line if you need that help. So it's not just about, our stories and what we go through and whatnot. And yes, I jump on here and go on little tangents. Why? Because it doesn't matter whether we're in trades or not. We still have life problems. We still have people that we're divorcing and have custody issues and money problems. And, if we're dealing with a narcissist or a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a mother or a father who's narcissistic or whoever it is in our lives, like we all still have everyday lives. And so I talk about that because it is part of it. It is part of it. Like you think just being in trades is a hard job, but it's everything on top of it and then everything that's put on you. Like, how do we have these people constructing our villages and our towns and our cities with a whole bunch of shit on their shoulders and in their mind? And so that's why I say, like, it's more than just that. Like, you can have a shitty workplace, but if life is shitty too, it makes it extra hard to be able to do things. And if we're being honest, trades is the number one, is at the top of the line, is top of the list. It's number one for suicides, mostly male. And that's hard for me to swallow because I'm like, in my brain, I'm like, what the hell do they have to be upset about? Like, this is going to sound horrible, and I'm sorry, you guys. And this is why I'm doing this, is because I needed to get educated too. And I'm like, what are they so upset? Like, they get to go to work every day, not deal with screaming children, not be on a 24-hour clock 7 days a week, be tired, be angry, be emotionally unbalanced, be hormonally unbalanced because we're popping out kids and we're dealing with them, and depending on how far apart they are, and you can't let one do this or the other one freaks out, and then you're trying to keep up and keep the house in tip-top shape and make sure there's dinner on the table and make sure you're paying attention to the nutritional value of the dinner. That's even if you have a brain to do it, because let me tell you, there are days where, you know what, skip the dishes is a wonderful thing. And then there are days where it's all about making the home cooked meal. So, and then just being chastised for that. So I see that there is a double standard on both sides where people are like, what do you do all day but eat chocolates and, play with your inner selfness and have a nap? And it's like, if I don't have a nap, I would probably commit murder. I'm just letting you know. So like, piss off. And then there's guys that are like, listen, if I didn't get away from the house on top of dealing with a very demanding job, I might commit murder. It's just, we're trying to balance ourselves. We're trying to self-regulate. And what's shitty is that we've got this new generation that's really struggling to self-regulate and self-soothe and has an entitlement aspect. And it's our fault, and it sucks because we as humans didn't want to see bad things happen, and we didn't want them to experience things the same way we did. But it's kind of like I hate to say this, but that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Excuse me. It's one of those where I'm just like, ooh, like, maybe we shouldn't have gone all the way to the other extreme. Like, we should have went somewhere in the middle. A lot of us did. A lot of us went to that middle ground where we weren't beating the snot out of our kids, but we weren't taking their bullshit either. Like, I'm the middle ground parent, although I will say my son is like, I love him to death, but my goal as his mother is that he can cook, clean, do laundry, and do it well. Not half-ass this shit. Cook, clean, do laundry. He's already compassionate. He's loving. He's sweet. He's kind. He thinks of others. He's athletic. He's smart. He's naturally smart. That's great. Now I need to make sure that he can go through life and be an actual human. If he wants to let his house look like shit, that's on him. But you know what? At least I know that when he left my house, he knew how to clean properly. Not just wipe a couple things down. I'm talking dust. I'm talking on your knees, wash those floors. I'm talking get in between the cracks and creases. I want my son to leave my house better than when he came into it. Obviously, he's my son. But I don't want him to be a problem for the next woman. I don't want him to find somebody in his life. I know he's heterosexual. He's not confused. He's not in a phase. He is heterosexual and he likes girls. And I don't want to be that mother that women are looking at me like, yeah, I've seen your work. We're good here. Like, I want her to be like, please be up front and center with me with our kids, because you did a great job. And my spouse is so supportive and so amazing and helps me with all the things and understands, and that's what I want. I want to be up front and center with them and helping them make decisions and guiding them as a couple and as parents. And I can't do that when I throw shit into the world. Like, that's just not, that's where I always find it funny when people, like, any woman who's ever had one of those crazy mother-in-laws, most do, not all. But then, I have got a few girlfriends. Even my sister-in-law is pretty blessed. I mean, my mom's pretty amazing. But although my sister-in-law would tell you different, because she'll be like, you should hear what Lisa says. She talks a lot of shit about her mom, but it's not. I do, because mothers and daughters install buttons, and we know how to push every one of them at any given time. But doesn't mean we don't love our moms and we're not close, because I love my mommy very much. But there was one girl, and she and her husband's mother, they're like best friends. They go for coffees together. They just randomly get together. They're always around each other. They support each other. They help each other. When there's problems, they lean on each. And I'm like, God, where is that woman like 1,000 times over? Because most women that I talk to are like, I could deal without mother-in-laws. There was a comic that came on, and she was like, in dating, I need three things. I have three requirements, and one of them is that all your people are dead. And I was like, it's funny because on some level, it's kind of true. Because she's like, I don't want no ex-wives. I don't want no mothers. I don't want no sisters. I don't want nobody that's going to come in and create drama. And I'm like, and she was going off on like all of it, like, but it was hyper focusing on women. And it's like, you know what? It's because we're all pivoted towards each other, right? We're all pitted towards each other. Pivot is the wrong word. Pitted. We're all pitted towards each other. It's like the mother doesn't want you to take her son away because then she's losing her son. She's not really gaining a daughter, especially if she doesn't like you. And that's the thing. If I don't like who my son chooses, that's a me problem. I have to make it work for my child. So I have to have a really good reason. Now, I'm very, as you all can, I'm sure you know, I'm very vocal. So I will tell my son in my own way, away from this person, my opinion. And it won't be like, oh, you picked a shit person. It will be more like, I'm concerned. Help me understand, insert question here, right? If there's a problem. Because I don't want my son to end up in a relationship where someone takes advantage of him or takes him for granted. And I don't want my kids doing that to somebody either. So I look at it from both sides. If my son is a complete and utter a-hole, or my daughter is, and their partners need somewhere to run to with children, you better believe I'm going to open my door. It's not going to be, oh, well, this is my child's house and I'm on their side. Sometimes your children are assholes and you need to be like, no, not today. We're not going to, I love you. I will support you the best I can, and supporting you is supporting your partner and your children that you put in a state that they require this support. So that's how I'm supporting you. I may not agree with everything you have done, but it doesn't mean I won't support you and I won't support them and I won't help. So that's where another thing I think where we as parents gone wrong is that when we don't think our kids can do any wrong, our kids can do a lot of wrong to people. And we can instill all the best things that we think are right and commonsensical, whatever. That's even a word. Jesus, making up words. But as parents, we need to make sure that we support them, and that means supporting their significant other. That means supporting their children. We don't have to agree with everything. We don't even have to like it. But we need to show strength, and strength is shown in numbers and in the people that are supposed to be your safety net. And if your safety net people aren't safe anymore, that sucks. So it's one of those things. But anyway, rambling on. Here we go. What is 2025 going to bring you? Let's see. What year is it? It is year of the snake. So it's my son's year. He was born year of the snake. And I'm a rooster. So that is my ally year. So I'm going to have a great year, if I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, maybe I'm delusional, but I'm going to have a great year. So if you're a rooster, next year's a good year. It's a snake year. Snakes are your allies. Rooster is your silent, or sorry, dragons were your silent. So you were either building yourself up or you were coming into some great ventures last year. And everyone's like, oh, it's year of 8, but nine's a good year too, right? When you total up to 9 is like, I think they say like emperor level, like dynasty level is 9. So I'm hoping for good things for everybody this year. Just don't let anyone make you feel like shit, and have a great year, and don't do the new year, new me bullshit. We all know it's going to be the same you, just you're going to change aspects of yourself that need to be changed that make sense to you. It doesn't have to make sense to nobody else. And what else is there? Oh, don't fall into the New Year's resolutions. And I'm going to tell you why. Give yourself a quota, but do it after January. And I'm going to tell you why. You have a better success rate if you do it after January. Everybody's like, oh my God, I'm going to lose 20 pounds. Oh my God, I'm going to, I'm going to do these courses. Oh my God, I'm going to do all this extra stuff that's going to make me so amazing. You're already amazing. Let's start there. You're already amazing. I don't even have to know you, and I know you're already amazing within reason, because I can't be like, you're amazing. And then someone's like, oh, I killed 10 people and it was because I wanted to. And I'll be like, oh, I guess you're skilled with a whatever weapon you used. So, but you're all amazing in your own way, and don't set yourself up for failure. New Year's resolutions are the worst. Give yourself a timeline that makes sense to you. Give something that is attainable and start off small. Always start off small. Do not start off big. I'm going to lose 20 pounds by January, blah, blah. Don't do that. I'm going to lose inches. I propose to lose an inch every 3 weeks. And when you lose 2 or when you lose 3, it's a great feeling. And you stay on that. You stay on the 2 inches. Okay, well, if I know I can lose 3 in this, then I'm going to say I'm going to lose up to 3 inches, not 3. Because if you don't, because your body's now regulating into that moment where you don't need to lose that much more, don't set yourself up for, I'm going to lose up to 3 inches because you can't. Don't set yourself up for failure. New Year's resolutions are the devil. But it's the devil. Anyway, so make sure you guys have an amazing and safe New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and take it easy. And we should all be back to work by the 2nd for those that, are not city and government. For the rest of you, I'm just kidding. City still puts garbage guys are out in the 2nd. I'm like, it's bullshit. But I should say waste management. And we're giving everybody like new technical names. It's like, oh, I'm like a garbage technician. Like, no, dude, you're a garbage guy. Like, who cares? Like, it's a great job. Like your city, you've got benefits, you've got a pension, you're doing good. So have amazing and safe New Year's, and do all the things you want to do that make sense, that are within reason, that are legal. And we'll see you later. Okay. Happy New Year.